A little bit further up the field, Herc, we have the number 9. Where are we now after these 2 games on the nonstop question of the U.S. number 9 depth chart?
Can I be honest? Does it matter? And just bear with me for a second, because let's go back to when Greg Berhalter started with the U.S. men's national team. Who was his starting 9? Josie Altidore. Let's go back to when the World Cup qualifiers started around. Who was his starting 9? Josh Sargent. Let's go back to who saved his job. Who was his 9? Ricardo Pepi. And then somewhere along the lines, Jesus Ferreira comes in, and then it's Haji Wright in the biggest game versus England, arguably the biggest game of your World Cup versus England. It's Haji Wright. And then it's, again, we're throwing a Brandon Vasquez into the mix. And there seems to be this rotating door when it comes to the 9, and I don't really think it matters. And now we have Balogun, and I don't think it matters. And the reason is because in this system, and I've said it many times before, the 9's not going to score you goals. That's not his job. That's not what he does. They have to facilitate for the goal-dangerous wingers. So for Greg Berhalter, I don't think it matters on who's the 9. I think Greg Berhalter is going to ride who he thinks either has the hot hand or is going to be the best suited against this opposition to make guys like Gio Reyna better, to make guys like Christian Pulisic better, to make guys like Timothy Weah better. This 9 in this system is a system player, and that sort of worries me.
Yeah, it's kind of number 9 by committee, to borrow like an American football term, right? When they do running back by committee, whoever's the hot hand. The one thing that I think is kind of the best evidence of that is how quickly things can change, right? Haji Wright was pretty clearly, according to Greg Berhalter, the 4th best forward, right? When this roster was named. That's why he left him off and then calls him in when he has the Josh Sargent injury. If that guy can go from 4th to starting the final, that means there's a lot of space for like up and down movement in that number 9. And I think right now, Herc, you got to say Haji Wright is in that pole position, especially if we consider, well, Herc, there's no more games, right? At this point, all you're going to really have to go on with these guys is club form. I'm not about to bet against Haji Wright and think that he's suddenly going to start, to go cold at Coventry. If he stays hot at Coventry, based on what we saw this window, how, when we get to those games in June, are you not starting him?
Listen, there's no buts from me on that. I'm not the guy that said Balogun's the clear best forward or 9 in this team or in this pool of players, and there's no question about it. So why wouldn't you play your best 9 if the gap is so evident? I don't think it's that evident. I do think there's a competition. I just don't think Greg Berhalter has a pole position leader in that competition. I really do think it's a system, and within that system, the opposition, the profile of striker, and I know you've heard this before, really comes into play.
All right, odd man out come June. If you're only taking 3, who's your odd man out of the 4?
Dude.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I want to keep Ricardo Pepi in there because of what he's done in the last, 10 games that he's come off the bench for the U.S. men's national team. He scored goals. He's got 7 goals in like 10 games, 5 of those off the bench. But he's not playing club football. Balogun's not playing well at the moment. He is playing club football, just not well. Josh Sargent, you can't keep the kid from scoring when he's healthy, but he's not healthy right now. That's a difficult one. I don't think you can make that call now. I really think it's hot hand when it gets there, and you go with the 3.